Yo, what's up, guys? It's Keaton from Yumi and Decree here at 12 in the morning with.
Oh, what's up, it's Aaron?
Darian here.
And Logan.
And today we're going to be doing a banlist discussion video because it's 100% confirmed that it's coming out on Thursday. No, I'm just joking. It's not. We have no idea when it's coming out, but we're just going to give our opinions and like what we think is going to happen on the list. For the most part, we're going to do what's like healthy for the game, but we're gonna throw in a few that's like kind of wants, and then like stuff that Konami like might do, and we'll be like generous to us players because we're poor. So we're gonna go ahead and start out by all of us agreeing on everything that happened on the adjusted list. Yeah.
I think so.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. Any conflicts with that? No.
The only thing that I could see changing is like Luster going to 3, but if that was gonna happen, Face Off would have to go to 1. So I think it's one or the other in that situation.
And honestly, they could do something with like Ptolemy switching in Infinity, but other than that, it looks good for now.
Okay. And then we're gonna start out with banned. After that, the only banned card that we have that we all agreed on was Life Equalizer. This card just like promotes just FTKs,
Degeneracy.
OTKs, yeah, degeneracy, like with degenerate decks. Like you don't see like everyday meta decks playing this card. It's mainly just like FTKs and stuff like that. Anything y'all want to add to that?
Nope, get that card out of
That
here.
pretty much covers it.
Yeah. For limited, we're putting Joker or all the stuff that we just said, like Joker, Monkey, Luster, and then we're gonna do Face Off or Luster, like Aaron just said. Either Luster going to 3 and Face Off to 1, or Face Off just staying how it is and Luster staying how it is at 1. Y'all want to elaborate on that at all?
Yeah, I mean the whole Luster face-off thing is like I don't know if they put Luster to 1 just because it was the older of the two cards, or because like they actually thought that was the bigger threat. Face-off's obviously like a quote-unquote better card in general, just because it's like you're running 4 Lusters anyways. And then you get an extra monster off of it as well, and there's almost no punishing to the card. Especially with Rector coming out, I could definitely see Face Off getting hit over Luster just because it has extra access to more high skills, and like you can literally get whatever you need off of it now.
Yeah, definitely. And then the next thing we want to touch on is Burning Abyss, because they just got the recent support with like obviously Dante and like every single card in the deck getting reprinted and easy access for all the players and very, very cheap, very budget friendly. So we went ahead and put Dante to 1. Yeah, y'all want to expand on that?
Alrighty, so the reason Dante is at 1 on our list is because the utility Dante gives to most decks is like actually insane. Milling cards is an insane effect because of how much graveyard support the game has right now. But at the same time, Burning Abyss like completely gets shut down by Dante being at 1. Like they have to either go into Virgil, which is extremely subpar, or they can't like Beatrice loop. So I'm gonna have to say I agree with ARG's decision of putting it at 2 because it allows them to efficiently be able to keep up their own plays, as well as you could always just Dante, put back a different Dante, so that you never run out. Like there's no reason Dante should ever stay at 3 in this universe, but I think 2 is the correct hit in my personal opinion.
Yeah. So Dante definitely like a powerful card, an easy XC to access. So the next card we have is Wavering Eyes. Wavering Eyes getting put to 1 limited. This card is just like it started out with Klee Turbo or Towers Turbo, and just bringing out like gaining so much advantage, scouting twice in the same turn, and bringing out like 1 Towers and then a second one the second turn. But like Wavering, just adding a Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand and like interrupting your opponent's plays, like them top decking cards, like top decking one ofs like Monkey Board, activating it, activating another scale, and then you Wavering, or they top deck Wavering and hit your 2 scales and get their monkey. Just it's an insane thing. Y'all have any input?
It's not okay. Not okay at all. Like definitely.
Yeah, wavering at multiple. Wavering at multiples, it like promotes unhealthy play because like if you get that 4 off in like a pendulum mirror match, and that match is pretty much over from there. Because then you have to end out their wavering, plus have more scales in your hand for the next turn. Like if that doesn't just end the game right there. Other than that, like the card, it has its uses, like generating extra deck cards to the pendulum, but like in general, like just because of the Wavering Eyes mirror match, like, and now that Juggler's gone and like that wasn't out to it that helped the game, that's gone now. Is like we need to actually limit the card so we have less issues with that, like in general, because it's just a really unhealthy card.
Yeah, also, just the fact that it has like multiple effects that are all like extremely relevant. Like cards that we've seen in the past get hit, like Sacrifice and Ulti Kanahawk, Brio Unicorn, Shrit, just stuff like that. It's just like pretty unhealthy. The next card we have is Strike, the counter trap that came out in Breakers of Shadow. That card is just I don't even know what to say. Y'all can expand on that if you want.
Yeah, with Ariadne, like that makes like Strike a really powerful card, specifically for the Pendulum deck. Other decks like Burning Abyss, Cosmos, they all take advantage of it, like versus the Pendulum deck. But in general, like by cutting that spot down to 1, it makes other decks adjust. Like that makes Pepe run other counter traps, like we see Chaos Trap Hole and Scolding getting light play lately. It forces people to actually start thinking outside the box. Maybe going back to Rafflesia, it makes decks like Cosmos, like I said, they have to start running things like Bottomless and Torrential just to make sure that they have outs to it instead of just having the strikes and like automatically having out to the mirror match or whatever deck that's playing in the meta right now.
Yeah. So Strike just very unhealthy for the game. Like it's basically a warning for Pendulum summons, and a warning, is the same thing. So the next card we have is a hit to Cosmo. We have E-Telly to 1. We think this because just set 3 Call of Haunteds in phase tin can. Like it's just insane, and not I don't know, just specialing a shit from your hand, gaining so much advantage. Potentially getting a Cosmo Town from your deck to your hand, just stupid stuff like that. Y'all have any input on that?
Yeah, the E-Telly, I mean, hitting E-Telly is kind of like hitting Burning Abyss last year, right before, all the national events and WCQ events. It was the best card to hit in the deck because it's generic and it can be used in other decks, and they don't want to hit anything necessarily archetype specific, like I did with Tour Guide and Burning Abyss. Like I said, like I did with Tour Guide and Burning Abyss. It's just like it's a power card. It gets through their engine quicker than any other card in their deck, really, and it can be used in other decks too. It's generic, so it doesn't have a reason really not to get hit at this point.
Yeah, like he was saying, Quantum Monarchs, the actual Super Quantal deck itself, like all of those, like they're actually relevant decks that by hitting it, like they're like their hits like to the deck, but it also has the main hit of Cosmos, which is a really powerful deck right now, and like that's like the one way to hit it. And since it's a TCG exclusive, we all know they're not going to actually hit the archetype, so you have to limit like where you can.
Yeah, definitely. So E-Telly is just very unhealthy. Just specialing a monster from your deck is always +1. It's not +1. But yeah, the next card we have is Pantheism, an actual +1. That you just discard Prime or any spell and trap for the Monarch cards and just gain so much advantage off of it. And then the ability to banish it, add it back, or summon idea, special tribute summon for any Monarch, and then add it back with idea, and then just discard it again for next turn just to banish it again. Like the consistency is just, it's there, and just I don't know. There's just that's pretty much the only thing that we had to hit. Like we discussed the Monarchs themselves, and we didn't think that any of them were like worth hitting. We talked about Majesty's and Vanity's Fiend, but that isn't like a main card that they play. Like most of them just side it, and yeah, so we just put Pantheism in 1. And we also talked about Domain, and we thought that it wasn't the right hit, just because like there's so many outs to it really, like Regeki, Dark Hole, and then like Twin Twister, MST, and then the searchable Arch Phoenix Centric. So we just thought that. And then the next we have 2 errated cards that got errated. One in the TCG and one in the OCG. We got Democ and Sangan. Democ recently got printed in that Yugi's Yugi set. What was it called? Do y'all know?
Legendary Collection, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. With like all the decks and stuff. So that like it it's probably gonna come back. So that, and then Sangan being able to search on the end phase. Um, in my opinion, it's basically like another Skarm. So Skarm to 4 confirmed. Do y'all have any comments on those two erratas?
Kind of is what it is.
Yeah, like sometimes like you miss like the old effects and like the glory days, but like the cards like in of itself were too overpowered back in the day, so like you can't really complain about them being put on the power level of like the decks right now. So we'll see how it goes, like if they get played with the erratas, and if not, then we'll just have to play GOAT format to remember the former glory.
Yeah, definitely. So that's it for our limited. Hashtag bring back construct. So next we're gonna go to semi-limited. We're talking about a few old cards that have been chilling since like what was it, 2012, 2011, something like that. We're talking about Compulse first. This card is just like I don't know. It's just really slow, honestly. Like Pendulum Summon and then just bring it back next turn. Like it's basically like, yeah. So do y'all have anything to say about that?
I mean, Convulse is definitely like a strong card, but like you said, it's slow. Compulsing anything in this meta right now isn't very relevant. I think the only thing you can really compulse right now is a Dante or Beatrice that has a really good impact on what your opponent's play is going to be after that.
Yeah, but everything
Otherwise, like you
floats
said-
and like, sorry, everything floats. So like from like right after you do it, like, you're gonna see your effect. You're gonna bring back another one. Like if you haven't said anything, you're gonna just reveal another one. You're gonna make another Dante. So, like you wanna like increase cards that like make it harder for them to play, but not like take away their entire game state.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then the next one is somewhat similar to Compulse. It's one of the best neg ones out there, and it's a Book of Moon. Book of Moon came back to, or I think it was a fake list, but it came back to 3 in the OCG, right? That was fake.
I believe that was fake, yes.
Okay. Well, when I saw that fake list, I actually thought that it was real, like most people, and I didn't see anything. Like I just scrolled past it. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I mean, obviously they have a different meta, but just the card itself is just pretty slow. I mean, obviously it hits Burning Abyss, pretty drastic, and just like setting them back, making them wait a turn to flip summon it, just stuff like that. Y'all have any input on Book of Moon?
I
No,
mean,
like,
at this
if-
point, go ahead.
No, man, sorry, you're good.
At this point, Book of Moon is like, yes, it hits Burning Abyss to an extent, but like they have Fiend is Rhino Warrior now. Like if they're getting monsters off of Turiite, it doesn't really matter. They're running Terratops, so that's starting their play. If you're booking, they already have a Dante anyways to hit trying to destroy VA monsters. So it's just kind of like, what are you gonna do? Book the Terratop instead, so that they can't special attack a Timborg that turn, I guess. And then they just summon like Rhino and a BA monster.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for semi-limits. Do y'all have anything you want to add to the semi-limits?
I think we actually forgot something on the limited list. We forgot to put reasoning in there. We actually think reasoning's like
Oh yeah.
a pretty powerful card. Monarchs are abusing it right now. Cosmos,
Obviously, Infernoids.
Infernoids, of course. Like all those decks that like run cards that like you can't hit on purpose. So like reasoning actually does need to get hit because it's such a generic card that like does so many things for so many different decks. And like you gotta actually make people like think about their deck building. You can't just throw in through reasoning and be like, all right, we're gonna go from there since we already have 3 spots taken up.
Yeah, like the synergy with Monarchs, because I've been recently playing Monarchs a lot, and the synergy with that is just setting up Pantheism's Grave, putting primes there, putting other cards to banish for prime, stuff to put back with prime while you have it on the field, just stuff like that. It just has a lot of synergy. So for the unlimiteds, we have Charge of the Light Brigade. We have this because Lightsworns really haven't seen play since about 2014 during hat format, when it was like pretty heavily played during like the Alter Reality games, ARG tournaments and stuff like that. Yeah, Lightsworn Dragons. And they honestly, like, I've been playtesting them a lot because I really love that deck, and it's just way too slow. Like summon 1 JD, it gets Veilored, or it gets what's that card called? Rafflesia, or just something like that, just or Striked, anything. Like there's so many outs to it now that it's just too slow, and like taking away the Dragon Warriors just really put the deck behind, because Wavering Eye, or not Wavering Eyes, I forgot what that card was called. Wyvern Dragon, something like that.
Eclipse Wyvern.
Yeah,
Eclipse
Eclipse
Wyvern.
Wyvern. Yeah. That one, thank you. That card, it was just had so much synergy with it, just banishing a JD, then banishing the Eclipse Wyvern and another any dragon, and then adding it to your hand, and then specialing that too, paying 1,000 and just going off. It just had a lot of synergy. Y'all have anything to say about that?
No, since Minerva is not a generic card, like you can't really like blame the deck for like what it could be, since we don't have the access to it. So until Minerva gets reprinted, I see no issue with Charge being at 3.
Yeah. So the next card we have is Tragodia. Tragodia hasn't really seen any play also since about 2014. Some in the Lightstorm deck and like Chaos Dragon, just stuff like that. Yeah, it's just really a slow card. What y'all have anything to say about that? Any input?
It's underwhelming. Like cards like Swift Scarecrow, Juggler, which was a better card, and then like specifically like Battle Fader. Like if you have one of those, like it instantly ends a battle phase, so like it shuts down Cosmos. Tragodia specifically, like yeah, it has a synergy of like the level effect, but like with the decks right now, like if you don't if you don't stop like that OTK, like one attack usually isn't gonna be enough. So like you gotta have something that like is powerful enough. Tragodia just is too underwhelming to like really make that big of an issue in the meta.
Yeah. So yeah, Tragodia is just kind of an underwhelming hand trap as a whole. And then finally we have Dragon's Ravine. This card has come back to 1, didn't do anything. Come back to 2, didn't do anything. I think coming back to 3 wouldn't really change anything. Our buddy Logan here, I don't know if he's still listening or if he died, but he was talking about it working with the Blue Eyes deck. I don't know anything about that deck. I just know it has dragons in it, so it probably does. Do y'all have any input?
Personally, I haven't paid attention to the Blue Eyes deck. I'm gonna start looking into it closer to Shining Victories, but from what I've heard, it's gonna be pretty strong. So, we can't really like say for sure on Ravine, but like as long as it doesn't affect the Blue Eyes deck too much, I can't see an issue with it coming back to 3.
Honestly, it's not even really as much of a factor in Blue Eyes. It's just like, obviously, it's a Dragonity card. That's a deck that I know a lot of people in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like to fanboy over, and like you said, Ravine's been slowly climbing up the list from 0 to 1 to 2. Now that the Dragon Rulers are gone, I think we all expected to see Ravine at 3 this last list, and it didn't go up. I don't think anybody really knows why, especially with the pendulum mechanic running around. Like, normal summoning a Dux and having that be your one play is a lot to commit to like one synchro monster if you don't have combos other than that, and it doesn't really do anything. It helps your deck get a little quicker, and even like in the Blue Eyes deck, I don't know exactly, like I said, I don't know exactly how that's necessarily gonna work, but like it turbos through your white stones, so it could be decent with like trade-ins and stuff like that, but I don't see it being a huge impact at all.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so that was basically our list, and then we're gonna do a few that we just thought that like us personally want to come off the list, just like by personal bias. I guess I'll start out. I obviously want Construct to come to 1 just because like I do, and then either Scout or Sacrifice to 2, one or the other, just because like the deck it's too slow right now. Scout gets Waverings, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Do y'all have any cards that you guys personally want to come off the list?
My main deck was Shaddoll, so yeah, of course I want Construct to come back. Like at least to 1. Like the deck's literally unplayable, and I understand there's a lot of busted light support, but like there is no room for like, hey, maybe I want to tech in like a Shaddoll fusion and like some stuff to counteract like the Pendulum deck with like, hey, maybe a Winda. They have to Pendulum, and like that's their play for the turn, like as a cool like lockdown option. But like right now, like just having the option of Construct was such a good option. But like right now, Winda's not good enough. Grist is not strong enough. Like there's no way for the deck to function on its own at all right now.
Yeah. Darian, you have anything that you want?
Honestly, sure. Going back to 1 would be really cool. I don't think it's gonna happen yet. I think it'll happen maybe later on in the future.
Don't
Or
be
it
sure.
could not, because I know that we have that new Necros card coming out, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's like a shirt, but it doesn't search or something. I haven't
Yeah.
extra looked into it.
For the record, Necros is topping in the OCG. I don't believe they have Shirt or they have one. So as long as like, I'm not
Well, that
sure.
makes
Like,
it makes a huge difference having 0 or having 1. That makes a difference.
I don't remember
between
which one it's
top
at, but like I know it's relevant in the OCG. Like the deck's enough, like with or without it. So like if it's at one of the OCG, depending on how the meta progresses going into Shining Victories, it might be able to come back. Probably on the list after Nats. I can't see it right now because that might be too big of a shakeup. But like over the summer, like maybe they put it back to 1, test the waters out of the first YCS, and then go from there.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean, other than that, like a couple of like maybe lesser like other Yu-Gi-Oh fan options. Obviously, Zen Nady coming back and Zector
Mhm.
Hornet or Dragonfly coming back up the list.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't mind seeing a Rise of Rescue Rabbit, maybe to 2.
Yeah. Kind of promote the Pendulum deck.
Not even that. I like the card a lot. I think it's a really neat card.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Free Rescue Hamster 2016.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically our video. Any comments that y'all want to leave in the description or in the comment section below, go ahead and leave that there. And anything that you agree with, disagree with, kind of in between with, in the description or in the comment section, go ahead and leave those in the comments. And yeah, go ahead and like and favorite the video and subscribe. Do y'all have anything else y'all want to say?
No, it was fun. See y'all next time.
Okay, and then I'll say bye for Logan, and yeah, I'll see y'all next video. Peace.